know.
Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung. Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is the Monday Night Review. With me, of course, is the Hall of Famer, the best left-hand punch in the business.
Oh my God, it's a right hand, for God's sake. Is that how we're going to start the show?
Hey,
No,
it's
I
all
had a
over
pretty
the
good
internet that it was the left hand, man.
I had a pretty good left jab, but it was the right hand punch. Anyone who I don't understand that. People
Well,
are thinking of
goddamn,
someone
you know
else.
what? So the best right and left hand punch in the business, the Cooker, Bob Cook, and with me, who is absolutely not known whatsoever professional wrestler, of course, talking about the wrestling enthusiast Mark and myself, who actually I'm kind of like Mark, not known at all in the wrestling world. We're trying to get there though. That's why we're podcasters, because we suck in the ring.
Just a couple spots.
Yep. So starting off, this has been a rough few days for professional wrestling. We lost a young man by the name of Jaka, 39 years old. He was really well known on the indie scene. He had a match for WWE. I believe it was a dark match, and the same thing for AEW, but he was definitely up and coming. He really affected the wrestling world. There's a lot of people who were devastated by his loss. And then there was a woman who was a legend within her own rights. We're talking about a retired professional wrestler for the PGWA, Tammy Starr, and a loss that hit close to home. Of course, I'm talking about Chuck Coates, who has worked with the Who's Who. He's been in the ring with Kurt Angle, and so many other top legends in the business. Chuck was on the podcast on May 19th, and man, I tell you, that was only 4 months ago. And if someone would have told me that he would pass away in 4 months, I would say you've lost your mind, because of he just looked so good. He looked healthy. You just never know in life when your time is up. Chuck was a great guy. But I want to start the podcast by doing a 10 bell salute for all three of these individuals who sacrificed their body inside of the ring to entertain the fans who love professional wrestling. Chuck, like I said, I had only a brief moment to get to know Chuck. But one thing about Chuck, he came on the podcast, and I'm really hard on myself when it comes to interviewing. I always want to show the respect that these individuals deserve, especially the guys who are in the business as long as Chuck. And when the podcast ended, I thought I did a terrible job, and I shot him a message and apologizing for not conducting a better interview. And I mean, he was just so supportive right away. He was really, really a great guy. Bob, I know that he was a friend of yours because of the business. You guys had been in the ring together. Tell me, what what was the first thing that went through your mind whenever you found out that Chuck had passed away?
Well, can I say this first? That I didn't know the first gentleman, but I knew his better half really well. I've known her for maybe 15 years, so my heart goes out to her. Anyways, yeah, Chuck was just a great guy. He's been through so much in the last few years. He had like 3 battles with cancer that he overcame, and then he just recently had a heart attack and an open heart surgery, and it was one thing after the other, and now he's gone. And you know, we all have to be realists. Obviously, the longer we live, the more we're going to lose along the way. It's never going to get any easier. I mean, I've lost my mom, my dad, my sister passed away a couple weeks ago. So we're all in this boat, and it's going to keep sinking until we're the next one on the list. And we never know when that's going to be. And I love Chuck. My heart goes out to his family, his wife. He was just a good guy. He believed in God. I know that meant the world to him. He used to preach, the different churches. He helped out at the conventions, a lot of the legends the last few years, and stayed close to the business because he loved the business. And it breaks my heart that he passed away because he was just a good guy. And there's not a lot of those around anymore. So we like to say, but,
Right.
and I'm not just saying it because he passed away. He truly was a good guy.
Yeah, no,
Great guy.
he genuinely was a good guy. One of the things we talked about when he was on the podcast was his battle with cancer. And again, as you said, he didn't have just one battle with cancer. I think he had 3 battles with cancer. And this is a guy who wasn't bitter. This is a guy who wasn't why me guy type of a thing. I mean, he was so motivational, and he spoke with such positivity. He's so motivational as well. Yeah, he really was one of the good guys. And look, I mean, if you went and seen the amount of people who spoke about Chuck, people like Matt Hardy, who was truly affected by the passing of Chuck Coates. I mean, this is a guy that people could say, well, he didn't make it to that next level in many ways, and like a lot of these legends. But that didn't matter. This guy was so loved because of his character and who he was as a person, that those guys who did make it to the next level, those legends, they were truly torn up about hearing about the passing of Chuck. He was really a great guy. Jaka, I was familiar with the name, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm not sure it's Jaka or Jaka. But 39 years old. I mean, to pass away, to lose someone at 39 years old of a heart attack is just unimaginable in many ways. He had a tag team partner that he was with for a long time. It's really affected him, and I mean, the wrestling community with the passing of him as well. I mean, people was just outpouring of kind things, and people truly hurt when he died. And then of course, as I said, Tammy Starr, she was retired with PGWA, and she was a trendsetter for a lot of the women in professional wrestling today. There's a huge outpour of sympathy that went towards her family. Again, the fans, especially a lot of women who are in the business, were absolutely devastated by this loss. 2025 has been really hard on the wrestling community with death. Of course, we lost Hulk Hogan this year, and now these 3 literally within the 2 days of one another. Matter of fact, I think Tammy and Chuck passed away in the same day. It's just terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. Mark, man, I know that as a wrestling fan, how did this affect you as a wrestling fan with all these losses that we've had this year?
Well, I when it comes to me, I'm pretty shallow on death because I experienced death at a very young age. I literally watched people die right in front of me. By the time I was 7, I saw 2 people die right in front of me. So I at an early age, I just realized that nobody gets out alive. Um, I always stick with you know, yeah. The only thing you should cry about is you can't make more memories with them,
Right.
right? But as long as you keep their memories alive, they never truly die. That's how I get past all this. I mean, I had a brother die earlier this year. A week earlier than that, I had my mother-in-law die. Um, I just try to remember the good things about them, and as long as I do that, they'll always be with me.
Yeah.
I could say something about mother-in-law's dying, but I don't think anybody wants to hear that side of the story.
I like you, Mark. I've dealt with a lot of death. I watched my dad die in front of me unexpectedly. But I'm opposite when it comes to death than you are. You know, Death really affects me hard. And because of what I went through. But I tell you one thing that I have made sure that I've always done, because of the experience I have with death, is I do not hang up the phone, or I do not leave a place, or someone leave my house or whatever without me saying I love you, just because you really don't know if that's the last time that you're going to see that person, or if that's the last time that they're going to see you. But to your point, um, my when my father passed away, I took that really, really hard. And his brother had called me, and we were talking. He said, Kevin, he said, let me tell you something I've learned in life. Grieving is for yourself. In many ways, it's selfish, and it's okay to be selfish and grieve because it's healthy. He's like, but just remember that all of this pain and hurt that you're feeling, you're the only one that's feeling it. These people, if you're a religious person, they believe that they're in a better place. So why would you want them to go from a better place back to this world where there's so much evil in there? And that always resonated with me when my uncle told me that. But rest in peace to all of these individuals, to Chuck, Jacob, and Tammy Starr, who passed away. They definitely left a legacy um, that's going to be remembered in professional wrestling. Uh, let's get to Monday Night Raw. We was talking before being on air, and man, this was a tough one for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on it. There's parts I enjoyed and parts that were just kind of like,
Yeah, Bob, were you jumping up in joy and clap your hands like a 5-year-old child excited for Christmas while watching Raw last night?
My favorite part was Seth Rollins' boots. I like those kind of boots, those wacky boots, like the tennis shoe bottom cowboy tops. Even though you can't buy the damn things because they're like custom made. The company only makes like 25, or it's some bullshit if you ask me. But I thought they were cool. Other than that, I like the ladies match, but we're not there yet.
Right. We'll get into it. Go ahead, Mark.
All right, so we start with a recap of SmackDown of Seth, Becky, Punk, and AJ. All right, we don't need to go through that because we already had a recap on that.
Yeah, I've already torn that apart.
Right, so next we go to Jay and Jimmy in the ring. Looks like they're back together, at least temporarily. Pretty soon the Bronze come out, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Jimmy pretty much warns them about Paul Heyman. They give him all his previous nicknames or whatnot, and they threw out the Orca.
Yeah. Nothing against this talent. I'm sure it'll be a fine match. But how many more times are we going to see the same thing with these type of matches? It doesn't. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's a one-on-one between one of the Usos or a tag team. We've seen them. So it did nothing for me. I want something new and fresh. Bob, am I right with this? I mean, or is this something that you feel like, no, they have some more left that they can drag on?
Yeah, to me, there's just so much repetition, and it's been going on like that for years. And I realize there's only so many people that you can use, and you can't keep if you change things up every week, then there's no rhyme or reason for anything, but it's just it seems that it's the same certain people against the same certain people.
Yep. Mark, does this make you want to change your mind? And I know I'm skipping ahead just a tiny bit, but we know that the Usos is going to face the Bronsons at or the Bronze at WrestlePalooza. Does this change your mind and say, by God, I'm actually going to spend that extra $30 now to get ESPN Unlimited and watch this PLE?
Absolutely not. Now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because the only thing that's going to save this WrestlePalooza is the mixed tag match. That's the only thing that's going to save it.
Well, isn't Brock Lesnar wrestling John Cena? That's pretty cool.
Oh
man.
yeah, that's true. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I forgot
Yep,
about
yep.
that.
I wouldn't
Well,
mind seeing that.
yeah, I tell you I was so concerned. And actually, you know what? I'll wait till we get there. Go ahead,
All right,
Mark.
fair enough. So yeah, a match been made for the Usos, and I guess seeing the Usos tag together, it's been what, a year, 2 years,
I think it's been almost 2 years. Well, we've
Yeah.
seen them. They've had one. I think they had one match where they got back together on a Raw. I think it was not too long ago. But them actually being together, I think it's been a couple of years now.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, LA Knight came out and attacked the Bronsons or the
Oh boy.
Bronze. Then we'll skip ahead to the recap of AJ versus Dom, where AJ lost against Dom last week due to Grande Americano.
But can we not talk about LA Knight's god awful? I don't give a shit who's watching. I don't give a shit. I'm exposing the business punches and that little attack. Oh my God, the laziness involved was sickening to me. I get it that he's old, but he's still in good shape. Throw a punch. God, Terry Funk was throwing good punches until he was almost 70 years old.
Yeah, the thing with LA Knight is, and I like the guy, but because it's almost become predictable about what's going to happen in these big matches with him, it's made me not really care about anything that he's in because that he's probably going to lose.
Right.
Well, I don't care about that stuff.
Well, the reason why I care about it is because I want something fresh. And when you know that LA Knight is getting involved in something and he's going to lose, that besides maybe this one match, you're not going to get a fresh storyline that really involves him that's going to go on to become this really big storyline. It's just, I don't know. It makes me not interested in him.
Yeah, when you already know the end of the story, yeah, you lose interest.
Right.
Yeah. To me, I'd like to see LA Knight get the big one just because I think he doesn't deserve it. He's earned it, I think. All
Right.
right. I think he's been in the business long enough. I think he's been enough federations enough. I think he's a decent enough talent. I think there's been shittier talent that's been world champions. Um, and even if it's only for, 2 pay-per-views, so be it. Give it to him.
But yes, he's okay in the ring, but I've never really been that impressed with his promos. Go back and watch a lot of his promos that he cuts, and he fumbles a lot on his on his promos when speaking. Now, look, that's like calling the kettle black with me because I have a speech impediment, and I'm always fumbling whenever I'm talking. But I'm not getting paid the big bucks. I'm not on TV either. So I don't know, Bob. Do you think that LA Knight is just this great all around talent?
No. I don't mind it, but I'm not like, I'm tuning in this week to see LA Knight. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care if he's there or he's not there. That's how much I don't care.
Right.
I think his promos have gotten better since from 2 years ago easily because he was fumbling hard. But I never saw him fumble like he has in WWE and NWA or TNA.
Right.
It seemed like once he got elevated to that big stage, that's where the nerves kicked in or something. I don't know. But yeah, during NWA and TNA, either he covered it well or he just didn't do it. But WWE, yeah, he stumbles quite a bit.
Now, let me say this though. This is live TV. We are all humans. Obviously, mistakes are made. The one credit I will give LA Knight is when he does stumble, he's able to recover back pretty quickly without getting too rattled. I will absolutely give him those props because I can't say that I would be able to do that without getting rattled to completely fucking up the rest of the promo that I was supposed to cut.
Yep. And that's a very valid point because you go back to the '80s, everything was pre-taped, and the promos they cut. Let's do that one over. Cut. Let's do it over. So yeah, I mean, for it being live, and yes, he does make good recoveries.
Yeah. Now, Bob, that brings up an interesting question that I have. As Marcus pointed out, back in the 80s, there was a lot of the shows that were pre-taped and they would do a second take. Have you ever been involved in a situation, any match that you had to redo because of something that they didn't like? Because I've heard about these things happening.
No,
No.
but I've never seen them do live interviews. I mean, even if it's to tape, like if they're doing an interview and there's a crowd there and they're into they screw up, they screw up.
Right.
And they were so low budget they didn't edit stuff out. You go back and watch some of the matches that were god awful, guys that shouldn't be in the ring, the jizzobbers as they call them. Some of them didn't know how to hit the ropes and they'd screw up here and there. They just leave it in because they didn't have the budget to edit it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and it happens. I mean, fuck. I fumble all the time. I laugh about that interview that I did with the Cuban assassin, where it's probably my most embarrassing mess up when I called him the Canadian assassin. Just, and I don't edit shit, and I wasn't going to edit that either, but it can be quite embarrassing when you mess up like that. But again, people mess up. To me, it's all about the recovery, and LA Knight does a fine job at recovering what he wants to say.
No, I'm talking about WCW back in those days. I know WWF they're more high budget, and I've heard stories. Right. I think maybe it was George South told a story. I'm not sure if it was George. He had a match with maybe Owen Hart, and Vince didn't like it, and he made him go right back out and have the same match again.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I actually heard about that story.
Oddly enough, so did I.
Yep.
No, I mentioned the retaping because who did a story on the Von Erichs? Not Diane Claw movie, but a story. Was it HBO Max or
maybe? There's been so many of them done.
Yeah, or maybe it was A&E. I can't remember, but there was a clip where Kevin was doing an interview and David kept making him laugh, and they had to reshoot it like 6 times.
Well, was that like behind this, like in a dressing room interview, or was it live in front of the people?
No, it was pre-taped before the people got there, I think.
Oh, okay. So there's lots of like blooper reels out there that float around. I mean, I got the one with Mean Gene and a bunch of the guys screwing around after, screwing up their interviews and redoing them, and that's different. I'm talking about like live in front of people.
Right.
No, you won't see that because it's live.
And by the way, guys, for those who may be wondering where K9 Coates at, he's not feeling well. That's why he's not with us tonight. So we wish him,
you know what happens? You know what happens when people don't feel well lately? Wait a minute now.
Well, he's been on the road a lot. I know he had just got home after being on the road for like 60 days or something like that. And he turned around and had to go. There's a big Veterans Pro Wrestling event that happened that he had to get to that. So I'm sure his body is just tired. Also, I forgot to mention this, Brian Idol, the NWA TV champion, is going to be on the podcast tomorrow. So make sure you guys subscribe to catch that.
I know the Cuban assassin's still on the road. He's crazy.
Yeah, he is such a nice man, and his wife is such a kind woman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a
great one of my best friends.
Yeah, what a great sense of humor that they have. They really do. When I called him the Canadian assassin, his wife, after I corrected myself throughout the whole interview, his wife kept on saying, A. I was like, you guys are killing me. But yeah, let's get to it. Get back to it, Mark.
All right, so then next we go to AJ versus Americano. During the course of the match, a second Americano shows up. Dragon Lee comes out. A little bit of distraction. AJ gets the pin on Americano.
Yeah, this was actually a surprisingly good match. It was better than I thought it was going to be. Of course, we're talking about AJ Styles, though. I'm pretty sure the second Americano was Dirty Dom. I couldn't see if he had that mullet hanging out the mask or not because it looked like it was tucked into his coat, but I'm pretty sure that was Dirty Dom.
Oh, I thought he was shorter and thicker, but I don't know.
What I'm curious about is what's going to happen when
Chad Gable shows up.
Yeah, Chad, is this going to be something that's going to push Chad Gable into that babyface role? Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that. Bob, do you even give a shit about the whole Americano?
Well, to be honest with you, I accidentally on purpose hit the fast forward button, and I don't know. That's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. I was expecting this match to be not very good for whatever reason, but yeah, I mean, it was actually a decent match.
It was. Now I think isn't it Ludwig that's the current Americano?
Yes, the man who dumped
Tiffany Stratton.
Yep. Can you
What?
believe that, Bob?
Did he really? Did he really in real life?
Yes.
Yeah.
He broke.
Well,
he
you know what
broke
they
the
say. You know what they say.
Yeah.
For every good-looking woman, there's somebody who's tired of their shit.
Well, the saying that I like is, for every man's diamond, she was once someone's trash. Toss it to the curb.
Just flashing your can, you're gonna get get dinged again.
I think I have it covered up enough though.
I don't know. All right, so next.
Hey, wait a second. Hello, Tiffany. Yeah, this is Bob Cook. Yeah, they call me the cooker. Yeah. I heard your boyfriend dumped you. Well, I got a shoulder to cry on. Disguised as my lap. Oops.
Yes, Bob wants to use his utensil to stir up some things.
Bob wants to stir some things up.
I got a dipstick.
All right, so next we go to Io Sky and Adam Pierce. I really didn't remember what they were talking about. I'm sure it was about a match or whatnot. Then Nikki Bella steps in with Io. Kabuki Warriors show up. Her and Asuka have kind of an exchange, and Bella challenges Asuka for a match later that night.
Yeah, I really didn't care much about this. Although I'll tell you that I think that this whole thing with the Kabuki Warriors and with Io Sky isn't going to what's going to happen isn't what people think. I have a feeling that Io Sky is going to join back up with the Kabuki Warriors, and I think that she's going to turn heel.
I think you're probably right, to be honest.
What I'm predicting at WrestlePalooza is the match Io Sky and Stephanie that they're going to have, because it's for the world title. The Kabuki Warriors are going to interfere. Io Sky is going to get that title back, and of course, at the same time, turning heel. It's going to be all about that title.
Pretty much.
Cook, is this a storyline that you're invested in, that you really care about?
No, what I'm wondering is what exactly is Palooza? And why are they stealing an old ECW show name for their big debut on ESPN?
Then not only are there still in ECWs, but there is a indie promotion here in Minneapolis that every year for the past many years at First Avenue, which used to be owned by Prince, they have a huge, pretty big event that's called WrestlePalooza as well. I don't know what a Palooza is, because now we have WrestlePalooza. We have, is it like a Rock Palooza or something like that? There's a few things with the word Palooza at the end of it.
Here, let me try this again. Hello, Tiffany? Yeah, it's Bob again. Yeah, the cooker. What's a Palooza? What do you mean you don't know? You work for the company. Hey, the shoulder's still here. Yeah, she hung up on me. Son of a.
Chris says WWE has the best women's division, like Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, than AEW's women's division.
What?
No, first off, that's a matter of opinion. I'll respect. I mean, if you like it, that's what you like. I will disagree with you when you say Tony Khan is a loser. I don't think he's the best wrestling promoter. I think that he should stay in his lane, just be the money guy. But I wouldn't say the man sucks. He's successful in a sense. He definitely has a lot more money than you or me or anyone else has in this life.
I got 4 words to say to that guy: Penelope Ford and Megan Bain. 2
Yes.
shoulders, start crying. Just saying, in case their boyfriends dump them.
I'd put Megan Bain against Raquel.
No. I would definitely put Megan Bain against as far as being better than Nikki Bella. That's for damn sure.
Well,
God.
She's old.
All right, so next we go to Lyra versus Raquel. This was surprisingly a good match, to be honest.
I thought it was really good.
Yep.
I really can't complain. And you know what? I really dig Lyra's shorts.
Boom. Yes.
Yeah, I was,
A lovely piece of work.
I was a little surprised that Rodriguez actually got the win. I thought Lyra would get it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, though. There you go. See? You go, wow, it's predictable. But it wasn't.
Right. But that goes back to my point about having fresh stuff. This was something somewhat new. And that's why I liked it, because this was a match that I didn't know exactly what was going to happen at the end. And I was surprised by the ending of it. Hence why my biggest complaint is I want to see different people facing one another instead of the same shit over and over again.
The crowd was chanting awesome, something they weren't doing during Becky and Nikki's match at whatever show they had that match at.
Yep.
That's the one in Paris, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah. I asked in Paris.
No, actually, yeah, I was shockingly surprised how good this match was, to be honest. I wouldn't call it match of the night per se, but I wouldn't rule it out either.
I might.
All right, so next we go to AJ Lee vignette. Was it me or was AJ kind of like the bridge of the end of the Diva era into more of the woman division?
I mean,
or am I kind of off a couple years?
So I wouldn't say AJ Lee, and people may disagree with me. I wouldn't say that she was that trailblazer for this to change, for the women's division to change the way it did, because of the fact she really wasn't wrestling. She was more she played that management role back then. But yes, she was involved in it.
But those abs.
Yeah, she does have some good abs. She'd give Jade Cargill a run for money on abs.
Makes you hate CM Punk even more. You ever watch the show Lucifer?
No.
Yes.
One of AJ's best friends is the one who played Ella, the woman who was the toxicology woman on the show, the good-looking. I don't know what nationality she is, but Ella, I think her name was. But she's one of AJ's best friends.
And Lucifer's, I'm surprised you haven't watched that, Mark. It's a pretty good show.
It's awesome.
I'll put it on my list. All right. So next we go to Penta and the War Raiders. Thank God that didn't last long. And then Adam Pearce and Penta asking, when I first got here, everything was going great. Why you don't love me? I just the way he came across. Why you don't love me?
There's some truth to that.
Yeah, there is, and I think he called them out on it. Then Russo shows up, and Penta was having no part of that, and a match comes out of it.
So
shocking.
The thing that what I think was the takeaway from that was the fact of the New Day being there, the New Day costing him the match, the New Day attacking him. And I briefly talked to Bob about this last night. Mark, do you think that this is a segue into them reuniting the Lucha Brothers?
Well, seems how they're not doing anything with Ray Phoenix and Andrade now. They just fell off the map.
Which I don't get.
Yeah, no shit, right? That was a hell of a team. And yeah, I think there's a possibility. But it either means Ray Phoenix comes to Raw or Penta goes to SmackDown. I'm leaning more towards Penta going to SmackDown, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
So who knows? Then we have the match with Rusev versus Penta. Rusev got the pin. I was kind of surprised, although that was a halfway decent kick catching him in air.
That was probably the best kick I've seen from Rusev in a long time.
Right.
Are you a big Rusev fan, Cook?
No. He reminds me of the Canadian freight train Joe LeDuc a little bit. But Joe LeDuc was awesome, and he's not. So it doesn't exactly remind me of Joe LeDuc.
So I watched part of Raw last night, and I was going to watch the rest of it today. All right. Got home, put on Netflix, and I started watching. It said, want to resume? I said, yeah, And all of a sudden I see an advertisement for Rusev and Sheamus. I'm like, Jesus Christ, not again. And here it was an episode, 2 or 3 episodes before last night. I'm like, oh my God, not again. Come on. The last one was good, but I can't handle more of this. And I realized I was the wrong episode.
I've done that before.
Yes. I've done it quite frequently, actually. Let's see. Then we go to AJ and Dragon Lee having a little Tita or whatever you want to call it. And then Jimmy and Jay. Jimmy's trying to get everybody on the same page, and Jay's not having it. And Jimmy finally says, "You don't sound like you." And I thought he was going to offer him a Snickers bar.
Yeah, he said he sound like Roman, and you hear the fans. Ooh, last week I asked you, Mark, if you thought that they were turning Jay heel, and you said, "No, he's too popular." I don't know, man, and we're gonna get there, but it looks like this is what is about to happen. Which I don't have a problem if they turn Jay heel, but why can't they do it in a different way? All we're doing is seeing a similar storyline that they've already done between the brothers when they belong to the bloodline.
Their bloodline.
I mean, it's like, come on, although part of me is wondering if they're going to have Jimmy turn heel as well, and they're going to put the heel Usos back together.
Time will tell, I guess. All right, so next we go probably to the highlight as far as ratings went for the night was AJ Lee to the ring. I think the whole spiel about her mental health and finding herself and all that stuff, I could have personally done without. We all have our own personal struggles, demons, or whatever you want to call about it.
All right, that's time out. And people were, some people say what you said, Mark. Other people were like, we're so glad this was not her real personal life that she was talking about again. And this to me tells me that AJ is not as great as people believe that she was, because of the fact that it seems like a lot of wrestling fans are completely forgetting about her gimmick 10 years ago, which was a very unstable AJ Lee, a woman that was kind of crazy. So the whole mental health thing that she was talking about last night, she was kind of putting it in the sense of, since you see me last, I was the crazy AJ Lee, but I kind of fixed myself. So it wasn't that she was talking about her personal life. It was very much kayfabe, talking about that character that she betrays.
Well, I could have kayfabed without it.
I actually think, I follow her on Instagram and have for several years, and I actually think that she's talked a lot about that problem in her life during that time. So I don't think it was all kayfabe.
No, I think there's some legitimacy to it. They say the best characters are just inflated of your actual self.
Right.
And granted, that was a poor analogy, but yeah, it's the greatest characters are you being yourself, but inflated.
No
So does
wonder I
that
was a
mean
fail. No wonder I was a failure. Damn it! I rub it in.
Sorry, bud. Sorry.
that Seth Rollins probably really dresses like he does?
I don't know. Speaking of which, I don't know who looked like a bigger ass clown last night. Becky Lynch with her sunglasses or Asuka with her face painted.
Oh, Oscar definitely.
Yeah,
Oh my
but
god, she just looked like a bad clown. But
Yeah,
Becky's sunglasses were horrible. Not to
She
mention
needs
that
to.
painted on black eye she had.
Yeah, if Oscar needs to join the rodeo, she wants to be a rodeo clown.
No
that's
shit.
true. Yep, absolutely. Now, what I laughed about is you could really tell that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch absolutely shares clothes
Hmm.
because they dress.
Hey, Seth had a Western shirt on last night to match the boots. I liked it.
Did he? Yeah, but he had on these poofy parachute pants.
Well, that's true, but he was the least obnoxious dressed this week in a while.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
So anyways, AJ had Becky's belt and offered to give it back as long as she agreed to a mixed tag match. And Becky was having none of that. Seth came down, he come in to try to get the belt. AJ blocked him. I thought it was kind of comical. Then Punk came out, tried to sneak attack Rollins, and he weaseled himself out faster than Bobby Heenan ever did in his life. Um, yeah, but then Seth agreed to a mixed tag match, and they got the belt back, I guess.
Right now,
Right.
the whole problem with AJ Lee is, and I'm sure you both will disagree with me. She's older than what she was when she was with WWE before. And this whole skipping to the ring thing and the childlike ways that she is portraying herself to be inside the ring, just, I don't know, it kind of gets under my skin a little bit. It's, I think that,
It's not age appropriate.
well, right. It's, they should have had her character at least mature a little bit. She's in this hot feud with Becky Lynch and her husband, two people that have attacked her husband. And to me, she should just be a little bit more angry and a little bit more adult about it than how she's coming across. But again, that's just me. Bob, I know you like looking at AJ Lee, but do you think that her character should have evolved a little bit since we've seen her 10 years ago?
I think she's just doing what she's told. So we blame it on the creative. Could be wrong, but I don't.
Oh, I 100% believe that.
I think they're trying to stick with nostalgic. To be honest,
Yeah.
so I think what Bob's right. I think she's doing what she's told.
Now look,
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
and
If I was CM Punk, I'd tell her to. Oh wait, never mind.
there's a lot to be said though about what you just said, because I can have my opinion, but proof is in the pudding. And Friday night there was 90 million clicks on WWE.
Well, it said social, so it's
Social
Instagram,
media.
X, and
Right.
and Facebook.
Right.
But even so, 93
90 million.
million,
Right.
hits.
Yeah.
That's got to rank up there, probably top 10 for them.
But it wasn't
Right.
like almost 200 million by the time later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one thing that I'm glad that didn't happen. So, and I told you guys this when we were chatting, there was rumors that the storyline was going to go in a direction that no one was expecting, which would be Becky Lynch with the help of Roxanne. I don't know why they threw Roxanne Perez in there, But Becky Lynch, Roxanne Perez kicking the shit out of AJ. AJ not being able to make it to WrestlePalooza, inserting Rhea Ripley to take her spot, which would lead to a storyline for the IC title between Becky and AJ. My thing was, why do you have to do all of that to get that storyline for the IC title? Because we already have that in for this to become that. I'm really glad that it was just a rumor and that didn't happen.
A bigger buy rate for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, they're still going to have, look, in the next pay-per-view, they have AJ and Becky Lynch going, for the title, or AJ going for the title. They're still going to have a big buy rate without having to add all kinds of crazy shit in there. So what they're doing is fine.
Okay. All right. So indulge me for a second. I got to go back to the Penta and Rusev match. So Penta went for apparently a Canadian destroyer, which they call a Mexican destroyer, but let's give Petey Williams his credit. All right. And Corey Graves corrected Joe whatever and said, no, it looks like he was going for Code Red. All right. Well, doesn't Roxanne Perez do a Code Red called Pop Rocks? So, in keeping with Penta changing names, wouldn't Penta be doing a Code Red be a Mexican jumping bean?
That was terrible. But
That's because I took too long to get to it.
What Corey Graves actually said was the Mexican destroyer is very similar to Code Red, but there's a little difference in it why it's called the Mexican destroyer, which I agree it's the Canadian destroyer. But hey, don't ever try to become a comedian.
Yeah. It took me too long to get there, but nonetheless, I still think Mexican jumping bean would have been better than Code Red. Yeah, I just did the Mexican jumping bean.
I think that I was surprised when they did that with Rusev. It was a lot slower than it normally is. It was similar to John Cena's.
That wasn't that bad.
I'm talking about the speed wise. It was a little slower than you normally see it, but the fans pop for it.
Yeah. I imagine doing that kind of move on Rusev's probably not the easiest person to do it on.
I'm probably not. Probably not.
He's got such a low center of gravity.
Yeah. Bob, what'd you think about this whole spot with AJ Lee and CM Punk and Seth and Becky?
I mean, again, whether the mental health part of it was real or not, I think it could have been left out too. But a lot of people liked it because, they're all screwed up in the head. So they like to see people who have everything, seemingly, be just as screwed up as the common man. Now, me personally, if I had all that kind of money and I was successful, I wouldn't want to be screwed up in the head. And I wouldn't want people to know I was screwed up in the head.
To me,
yes, I would be on the Epstein list, but I wouldn't want people to know it. Jeez.
That's so wrong, but so right. Oh my God.
So honest.
The thing that kind of annoyed me about this segment was how long it was. I mean, they stretched out the whole belt thing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, it was like 20
minutes. It was like, yeah. It was just way too long for myself. It could have been cut down by 10 minutes. Easy.
Yep. All right. So then next we go to Bailey at her third Alcoholics Anonymous meeting or something. Pretty soon she's gonna come up to Randy Orton's song, hearing voices in her head. I don't know what they're doing with her, but they need to stop.
This is the thing. They're going to have her. They're trying to recreate Bailey to have this new character where she's kind of crazy. I don't think it's going to help her at all. I think the fans are going to still be tired of Bailey, and I think that this isn't going to be a successful character change for her. Bob, your thoughts?
Horrible, god awful. What's up with the close-ups?
Right.
We're in high definition era. We don't need those close ups.
Right.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what they do, it's still Bailey.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. That's exactly it. It's still Billy. She's still going to wrestle the same. She's still going to speak the same. You know,
Bring Sol Ruka to the top. Get rid of Bailey completely.
Yeah.
Sol Ruka. So let's do it. Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka. Sol. Oh.
Look, I think it's just time for Billy to be working backstage.
Yep. That's what I said couple episodes ago too.
Yeah.
Maybe been the last Raw recap we did.
Of course, she's probably in her early 30s, so we're
Well,
already kicking her to the curb. But who cares?
Yeah, but the thing is that it is just obvious that the fans don't care about anything that she's doing.
Right. I think when she was Hugger Bailey, I think she was more over than she probably ever had been. When she joined Damage Control, it was on a lot smaller scale of the Hogan turn for the NWO. A
Come on.
lot smaller. Hold on, a lot
Yeah.
smaller. But people enjoyed hating her, and then when she broke away, it was the kiss of death for her.
Like Randy Savage would say, if it was a Sahara desert, it would be one grain of sand compared to the Hulk Hogan turn.
Right.
Yep.
And I think that her career was kind of really damaged when they turned her heel and put her on Damage Control. I think that they expected it to be more shocking and to have more of that emotional connection of I can't believe you turned on us, the little girls loved you type of a thing. But it didn't turn out that way. It was just, you know, look, Damage Control has been my least favorite faction of in between all factions in professional wrestling ever. Ever.
The best thing that's happened to Bailey in the last 2 years is when she came out with them white pants on and her ass half hanging out. That is the best thing that's happened to Bailey in the last 2 years.
I don't even remember.
You'd remember if you saw it.
There's no sexism on this show, people.
Absolutely not. All right. So then next we go to LA Knight and Jimmy.
Hold on. What was that, Bob?
I was just going to say, speaking of pants, Daisy Dukes would do AJ Lee a little bit of good, you know. I mean, those are nice shorts, but Daisy Dukes.
You
There's
know,
90% of the people watching are going, Daisy Dukes, what's he talking about?
Right.
Just because they're young. I hate young people.
if you go back and rewatch AJ Lee last night, those shorts that she had on was too big for her.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah,
were.
yeah. Well, she's probably hard to find a kid size.
No, all
I
she
don't
got to
know.
do is go to juniors. I mean, she's only
Yeah, I
5'2", so
Right.
she might have to go into young miss.
Right.
All right. Anyways, next we go to LA Knight and Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy trying to get LA Knight on the same page, and LA Knight's got nothing to do with that. He explains there is no we. I'm going to do it by myself. You want to help? Stay out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we go to a recap of Xena and SmackDown versus Sammy and Brock coming out. Oof.
Good
Next we go
crowd
to
reactions.
Nikki.
Good crowd
Right.
reactions for Brock still.
Yep.
Yep. It is. Next we go to Nikki versus Asuka. And I wrote better than her last match. Bella seems to still be a step off.
You know what was the best part of that match last night? That there was a great point. There was a great thing about that match last night. And that was it gave me the opportunity to walk away and smoke a cigarette.
Oh. I thought it was a halfway decent match. I mean, Asuka almost put her in a pinning position, and Nikki turned it around right quick in a hurry. I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm kind of impressed with that.
Yeah, but I have a first Tyler Hilton. What's going on, my man? Thank you for joining the podcast. I just have a hard time watching Nikki Bella in anything. Believe it or not, I prefer her sister as far as in ring action than Nikki.
No, because if I hear Brie mode, I'm gonna hurt somebody.
Well, besides that, yeah, I know this is about WWE, but I'm going to go to AEW for a second. I think that if Brie showed up AEW to actually wrestle, I think that we would maybe see a side of her that's never been seen on WWE because of how WWE denies their talent. I think she'd be a much better talent on AEW because of her husband. I think that if she worked with her husband, I'm sure Daniel would remodify her in-ring skills, and I think that she would look, decent in AEW.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Nikki, I just can't, man.
Nikki is all about shock value. She'll say stuff just to get the shock value of it.
But that's the thing, though. If the things she said was truly shock value worthy, that's fine. But what she's doing, it's not anything shocking. She looks like a woman who just can't accept the fact that she's older now. By the way her entrance is, it's the same thing as it was 20 years ago. It just looks terrible to me. Bob, I know y'all about pretty girls, but do you think that Nikki should change her entrance and maybe even change her character a little bit to be more updated?
I guess it would depend on how long she's there. If she's not going to be there that long, why waste money on a new music and all that stuff? Who knows what her contract's really for?
Right. Normally, I don't put anything about AEW on our Raw shows, but I did bring it up. Tyler says he thinks Shinsuke should sign with AEW. Instead, he is under a new contract with WWE. And thanks for bringing that up because we just talked about Shinsuke last week, wondering where he has been at.
Yeah, that's a great idea because he's incredibly boring. So you might as well go to AEW and be incredibly boring. Switch things up.
I enjoy Shinsuke.
Shinsuke, not Nomura, please.
Yeah, I have to agree with Bob. I mean, some of his matches is very entertaining. He's really, I think he's a really good technical guy. But
I'll bet you $100 you can't off the top of your head go name one match that was what you just said. Like there may be some that were, would you say, interesting or good? But I bet you can't offhand think of one exactly that was interesting or good.
Shinsuke and the Miz.
I have to dispute that one.
Neither one of you guys remember it.
It's like I'm not a big Bret Hart fan, but I can tell his match with the Bulldog was awesome. His match with Shawn Michaels was awesome. Steve Austin was awesome. Owen Hart was awesome. Bret Hart was awesome. And I'm not a huge fan of him, but I can name matches of his that were awesome.
Yeah, but Bob, in all due fairness, do you think that in today's pro wrestling, we will ever have individuals rise to that level of, oh my gosh, this is a match we're going to be talking about 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
I don't know. That Will Ospreay's had some pretty, oh my God, matches. I saw a couple of them not too long ago. Like, holy shaky, this guy's good.
Yeah. Well, according to Metzer, he's probably the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree about Will Ospreay. I am a fan of his, but is it that his matches are that good, or is it because he does such crazy shit, there's more of that shock value to it that makes him more memorable?
It's possible, but it's all part of it.
Right.
Like you could say, people will say Hulk Hogan wasn't that good, but it was that turn, the shock value of that turn, greatest of all time.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, there isn't. That's probably probably the biggest wrestling event in the last 50 years that I could think of. I don't
Literally.
think of anyone bigger.
Literally changed the business.
Yep.
But and
Overnight.
the thing about Hogan is this though, that no other person will ever be able to say, in my opinion. Not only did he change the business once, he did it twice.
Yep.
Right.
Twice. I mean, come on.
And granted, Steve Austin did too. Steve Austin took that to another level. But in that era, it was Hogan and Austin took wrestling to levels that had never been before. Hogan took it to levels that never been before in the 80s, and then that NWO turn, and then Austin coming along because of the NWO turn, basically.
Right.
Is how they created the Vince McMahon Austin feud. It just ignited the business beyond any, anybody's dreams at that point.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. So, anyways, Nikki Bella taps out.
She didn't tap out. She got pinned.
Nikki tapped out. She choked out pretty much.
She
tapped out. She tapped Asuka's leg.
Let me go back.
Oh,
because I remember her taking a kick and going down and getting pinned.
Nope. Asuka had her in the Asuka lock, and Nikki tapped Asuka's leg. I could be wrong, but I'll put a buck on it, says I'm right.
What is this, trading places? Dollar. But Jamie Lee Curtis, that just made me think of Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't remember why, but I did.
So, no, it was actually a pinfall last night.
I'm going to go back and look at that because I'm pretty sure.
I'm just joking. I'm just giving you shit. She tapped out.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you see, not so much I didn't care about that match last night. I couldn't tell you the ending.
But was it a happy one?
It was over, yeah.
Yeah, right. I was happy about that.
All right, so next we go backstage at Judgment Day, celebrating Raquel's win over Lyra, and then Dom comes in and they just start grilling him like O.J. Simpson was on the stand.
Oh,
I'm going to say the same thing I said last week.
You know,
although I do like slow storylines that build up, at the same time, goddamn, come on, pull the trigger. It's been way too long, the storyline between Dom and the Judgment Day and them turning on him. Bob, am I wrong about that? Do you think the storyline being nice and slow, that's been 6-7 months?
Yeah, I have no investment in it, but I did want to mention OJ. I remember during the trial, I watched the trial, and then when the verdict came in, I actually cried when OJ got off because I thought to myself, I don't necessarily agree with what happened, but I understand it, and that in itself brought tears to my eyes. Just wanted to say that.
You understand how a man could kill his ex-wife?
I said I don't condone it, but I understand it.
Fair enough.
Right.
So I teared up when he got off because I was like, yes, one for the guys. Because we usually go to jail for that kind of thing.
Yeah, you think?
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get into the semantics of that.
What?
We're not going to get into the semantics of that.
I think that WWE should have capitalized on that and brought OJ Simpson into WWE and had a mixed tag match.
Well, they did use footage from the OJ Simpson thing at one of the WrestleManias with the Roddy Piper and Goldust. Back Raw was like WrestleMania 12 or something. Oh, geez, I should have had the button on it because I coughed. What do you call that? A cough button. That's what I should have had. I apologize.
Yeah, cold, Bob?
No, I don't know. It's probably this old man phlegm instantly.
Furball.
Then I felt a little chest pain. Oh, it went away. Damn it, it went away.
That's what happens when you watch Raw sometimes, man.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. Bob's not thinking about his chest when he's watching Raw.
Well, hey, Tiffany Stratton wasn't on this week.
No, but Bella's not bad on the chest.
It's true.
All right. So next we go to LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. LA Knight dominated pretty much most of this match, so you knew he was going to lose.
Right. Right. Then, of course, the big takeaway with that match was what happened after or during, right before the end of it. No, it was after the match because LA Knight lost it. Yeah.
Yep. So both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker attack. LA Knight, Jimmy Uso comes out for a beatdown. Then Jay comes out despite that he was apparently left for the night. He gets a little bit of a beatdown. LA Knight clears the ring with a chair. LA Knight goes to ask Jay. Jay's on the ground or in the corner. He says, "Hey, we good now?" Then he goes and helps up Jimmy, and then turns around and gets speared by Jay.
Right. But again, I think that Jay's definitely doing a heel turn. And the way they're making it look like with Big Jim, I was just so confused or torn about what's happening that he's definitely going to be on it as well. Tyler wants to know any thoughts on AJ Styles, his booking. I've actually just watched an interview with Kurt Angle this afternoon talking about AJ Styles and how AJ Styles is probably one of the best guys he's ever been in the ring with, because Kurt said it's damn near impossible to have a bad match with AJ Styles because AJ will take the bumps. He will do the heavy lifting, and he knows how to make people look like $1 million. Bob, what are your thoughts about AJ Styles?
He's phenomenal. And I mean that. He is.
Yeah.
It's not just a tagline. He really is. He's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. I
in better
agree,
shape
man.
than he's ever been in, and he's almost 50 years old.
Yep. We're going to be losing AJ in the next year or so. If he
Better rephrase that. Just say he's going to retire. Don't be saying losing.
Well, retire.
Okay.
If he indeed sticks to what he said, he specifically said that he wasn't wrestling when he was 50 years old. His last contract was only about a year. He was 49 when he signed. So AJ's going to be ending his career here soon.
Yeah, but a lot of guys say that, and then as it creeps up, and they come fifth, and they go, I still feel pretty good.
Yeah,
I could go another year when they realize that another year means more money in the bank account.
Right. Mark, you froze?
No, why?
Oh, you just was like almost
What
like dead still.
What is it? Winter where you are?
Not yet. Getting close, unfortunately. What do you think about AJ Styles?
I think I liked him better in TNA, but Bob's right. He's in the best shape of his life. He's probably at least 25, 30 pounds heavier than he was in TNA. I don't like the soccer mom hair, to be honest. But he's a phenomenal talent. I mean, yeah, there's probably not a better tagline for somebody than AJ's got for being the phenomenal one.
No.
And you can't say if it's the real reason or not. It has to have something to do with it getting in the shape he's in. Besides, you got to watch what you eat, and you got to stick to your training program. But I think a lot of it, because the guys don't have that constant on the road like they did years ago, it gives them a chance to function as a little bit more normal people, be home more often, concentrate on that, getting in that kind of shape. I could be wrong, but because they don't have house shows as much as they used to. And
Right. Now, Kurt Angle did say that if he compared AJ Styles to Shawn Michaels, that he thought AJ Styles was a better in-ring performer.
Holy crap.
Versus Shawn Michaels, who is a better all-around entertainer. Do you agree with that, Bob?
No. Nope. Just no, I don't. I think Shawn's one of the best ever. And AJ is too, but better than Shawn in the ring? No. Good Lord. You go
I
back
think
and
Shawn's
watch,
a better showman.
Go back to watch Shawn against Kurt Angle at one of the WrestleManias. Holy crap. It was amazing.
No, that's basically what he said, Mark, was he was a better all-around entertainer. But one of my favorite matches, you brought up Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. One of my favorite matches with the Kurt Angle, believe it or not, is at I can't remember which WrestleMania, but it was with Brock Lesnar.
So when Brock landed on his neck doing a
Yes.
moonsault.
Yeah, but that was one of Brock Lesnar's best matches he's ever had.
But you look at Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker at Wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Shawn Michaels against Triple H at SummerSlam. Shawn Michaels against Shawn Michaels against Shawn Michaels against. Phenomenal.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. That's AJ.
Right.
But Shawn Michaels is amazing. I don't know. That's why of all the people, people ask like who I would have liked to wrestle. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Terry Taylor, of all people, are the three people I never got to work with that I would have loved to.
Yeah, man, look, Terry Taylor, back when he was with Mid-South Wrestling, he was the top dog or getting to be the top dog, and then he left for WWE, and
they totally fucked him.
Yeah, the whole
Cool
Red
guy.
Rooster fits.
Well, if you hear the
WWE
story about
fucked
that,
Terry-
but
fuck Terry
you hear the
Taylor.
story about that, why that happened. But
Yeah, what is the story? I think I've heard it once or twice, but I can't remember.
you know, I'm trying to think myself. It had something to do with Terry saying something about somebody or just the wrong thing and it rubbed someone the wrong way or something. If I remember right, I don't know. It's been so many years, but he's a great guy, by the way. At least to me, he always was cool to me.
Right. What could
Isn't
have
he
been,
working for
man?
TNA or no?
He played a rib on me. No, he works for WWE.
Yeah.
He played
Does
a
he?
rib on
Oh.
me once. It was funny at the time. I didn't think it was funny at the time, but it was funny.
So what was the rib?
Oh, well, it's like, you know, in at center stage, you know, one time we were in the dressing room, whatever, and Terry Taylor walked in, and I just jokingly said, "Hey, this is a jobber's dressing room." And Terry went, "Hey, well, I'm in the right place." And he came in. They didn't care. They didn't have any specific locker rooms, but I just said that, you know. And then we had time to waste, and this guy, Chris Sullivan, who was one of my traveling partners back then, we're just walking around the mall, right? And so we go to a trophy shop, and we got Terry Taylor a wrestler on top of a trophy that said Terry Taylor honorary jobber, right? And we met him like in Gainesville. We caught him behind the arena, and hey Terry, because we thought it was funny that he was just playing along when he said, "Hey, this is a jobber's dressing room," and he's like, "Oh, I'm in the right place, right? Whatever." And we give him the trophy. Go, Terry, we got this funny. He looked at it and he goes, "You guys think this is funny? You motherfuckers think this is funny? My goddamn dad's in the hospital. My career's in the shitter, and you fuckers think this is funny. Fuck you." And he stormed off, right? And I was almost in tears because I was like, Terry Taylor looks like a good sport. We thought we are just goofing around, right? And man, and Chris is like, "Oh shit, I can't believe he did that," right? And I go back into the arena, I go to the phone, and I call my special lady friend who would always counsel me, you know, when I had something I had to talk about. I go, "I can't believe Terry Taylor, you know, he's all upset." And Terry said, "Well, I'm going to tell Jody about this." Jody Hamilton, right? So we're like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble." And I'm on the phone, and someone calls me, "Cook, Jody wants to see you." And I'm like walking back to the curtain, like, "Oh shit, we're gonna get in trouble." We thought it was just a harmless rib. And they come to the curtain, and Terry and Chris are standing there. They're laughing. They played the rib on me. And I was like, "You motherfucker," you know, because it's like we thought we were just joking around with Terry, and he got all mad, and Chris was on, you know, inside with Terry, and we're both, you know, Chris was with me saying, "Well, I can't believe you did that, man. Terry's usually a good sport. Oh, I feel horrible." And then I go behind the curtain, they're like, "We got you." You know, anyways. It was a harmless rib, but I felt horrible. And then when I went behind the curtain thinking I was going to get reamed by Jody, and then Terry's just, you know, they're laughing. "I got you." Anyways.
Yeah. Was Terry, that you know of, did he ever get bitter about having to do that Red Rooster?
I never talked to him about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Terry Taylor was someone that I thought would go really far. I mean, he's had a great career. Unfortunately, it's been more backstage than his in-ring career. But I mean, shit, he's one of the longest people who's been with WWE working backstage.
Yeah.
He's been there for years.
Yep.
I think Michael Hayes may be the only one that's been there longer than him.
Probably, yeah. In that role. Yeah. He's another cool. He was cool too. Michael Hayes was cool.
Yeah, right.
Although when he started drinking, he liked to headbutt you, so you got to be what? Got to be on your guard, you know.
All right, let's wrap up SmackDown. I think that was the how it went off air, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you mean Raw, not SmackDown?
I mean, Raw, yeah. Fuck, same thing. It's again when it went off air, Mark. Did it make you excited to watch Raw next week?
No, but I'm a creature of habit, so I'll tune in.
Bob, are you pacing, watching your
well,
watch?
What got me excited when I saw Paul Levesque's name pop up on the screen is in the credits, I went, time to watch Lucifer. And that's what I did for like 6 hours after Raw.
Right. And Guy, everyone, if you guys want to hear a lot more stories that Bob Cook has to tell, join us on September 22nd. Bob Cook, nope, he won't be in the seat as a co-host. He will actually be my guest. So catch that. I'm actually excited. I've been trying to get Bob on as a guest for a while now.
I just turned people off because they went, boy, if that's one of his stories, I don't think I care about tuning in.
Oh, tomorrow again, Brian Idol, the NWA TV champion. He's going to be on at 6 p.m. Central. Other than that, I don't know why I asked you, Mark, but do you have anything that you want to?
I didn't win the Powerball.
It's okay. Did you
Not really.
play it?
Yeah, I played it. I won $4 off it.
No? Well, see, you did win. $4.
No, I didn't, because I bought 2 tickets. There's $4 right there. Broke even.
I don't play the Powerball.
Hey, man, at $1 billion, I'll play it.
Yeah, couple bucks for $1 billion, I'll do it.
Yeah, no, just not a big gambler. But anyway, guys, this wraps up our episode reviewing Monday Night Raw. Mark, what would you give it grade wise?
I can't see giving anything higher than a C.
I'm going with a C minus. Bob, I know you hate that question, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
I'm going to have to go ahead and agree with you guys. I give the show a C and AJ Lee's abs an A++.
I don't know, man. Look, I know you guys love her abs, but there's just something abnormal about it. It doesn't look normal. There's just something just looks off about it. I don't know.
Okay. I don't see it, but I'm not even going to try because I don't want to look at it and go, hey, there's something off about this. I want to look at it and go, God, those are amazing abs. What's she look like in a bikini? What's she look like in a bikini? That's what I want to know.
Speaking of which,
like crooked. I don't know. Just something off about it.
She doesn't look as busty as she was before either.
Yeah, I don't remember about anything.
I mean, not that she was like super well endowed, but it looked like she had something there, and now it looks like she's got nothing there.
Well, that's all that mental health help sucked it out.
Could you imagine 3 grown men in their 50s, well, me on my 60s, in relatively horrible shape, debating one way or the other the phenomenal shape that AJ Lee is in a negative sense?
Well,
blasphemy.
One, I'm not in that bad of shape. Actually, I've started working out. I've dropped more weight. Secondly, I have my wife to look at all the time. I mean,
yeah.
Sorry,
I'm not going to say anything inappropriate with your wife, but she is a very attractive woman.
Yeah. So, and I like crazy women, and AJ Lee, I don't think is really crazy. My wife is thrown the fuck off. So, that's hot to me. I'm just joking, baby. It'll kill me in my sleep.
I've never seen your wife act crazy.
Hey, don't Phil Hartman him.
Yeah, right. Of course you have it. She likes to look like an angel in front of people. That way, people always see her side.
So we're both hiding a side of ourselves.
Well, yeah.
Everybody does. Look at Buford Pusser.
Yeah.
You can't trust anything now after that news came out. You can't trust anything. All our heroes are either gay or something you never expected. And now Buford Pusser, a legendary lawman, turned out and murdered his own wife. Holy crap.
Yep.
Now again, don't condone it. Understand it. Way to go, Buford.
Yeah, The Rock's been all that time doing that movie, Walking Tall.
Yeah, but that wasn't about Buford Pusser. That was the name of the movie.
Yeah, I know. But anyway,
a lot of people say it was a remake. It wasn't a remake.
Walking Tall? with The
Mhm.
Rock.
Yeah, it wasn't a remake. It was just the name of the movie. It wasn't based on
That
Buford
was a remake
Pusser.
of
Rocks.
Walking Tall in the 70s.
Well, supposedly,
Yeah, I know.
they-
Walking Tall in the 70s was about Buford Pusser.
Right.
Walking Tall, The Rock did. Rock didn't go around calling himself
Oh.
Buford
Right.
Pusser.
right.
It's just the name of the
Oh,
movie.
all right, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Same
Yeah.
premise. I
All
mean,
right, fair enough.
you know, whatever. But anyways,
I was being freaking funny, freaking sarcastic. But all right, guys, that wraps up again. Subscribe to the podcast. Join me tomorrow night for Brian Adam. Brian, God, I can't
Brian
get
Adam. Oh,
Brian, I know. Brian Adams' son is actually going to be on the podcast in October. So Royce, great guy. Looking forward to that. But yeah, you guys subscribe to the
You
channel.
got the
and tune
Canadian
in.
singer.
What?
You got the
Brian
Canadian
Adams. That's
singer.
right.
What the fuck you talking about?
Brian
Brian
Adams.
Adams is a singer
Singer.
from Canada.
Brian Adams was a professional wrestler for WCW.
Brian
Hey,
Adams, the singer,
teamed up
predates
with
him.
Brian Clark.
Wait, are you trying to tell me you never heard of Brian Adams, professional wrestler?
Yes, I know who Brian Adams is.
Okay. I was about to fire you on air. Be done with your ass.
Wasn't he
God,
Crush?
Yeah,
Yeah,
was
I
he
think
Crush?
he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been
Wrestled
so
Randy
goddamn long.
Savage at WrestleMania 10, I think.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like
I
that.
think. Yep. Royce
Part
is a
of
great
Chronic.
kid. Yep.
Yeah, Royce comes to our Legends lunches.
Does he? Yeah, very nice. Very quiet, but
He's
really
never
nice
said a word to me, so I don't really know what you're talking about.
guy. One of these days, I'm going to make it to the Legends lunch.
Well, you're not invited, but okay.
That's not true. K9's invited me, fucker.
I can
That
invite
with the
anybody I
podcast
want,
now?
so.
God, I've been trying to end this podcast for 20
But
minutes.
I can ban people, so be on your best behavior.
I'm always on my best behavior.
Okay.
Always. So again, for the 10th time, thank you guys for joining us. You guys have a great week. Good night, guys.
Good night.